Honorable Matthews, are you ready?
We're born ready, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning. It still is to honourable members and to the National Commissioner. National Commissioner, what conditions or material conditions, I would say, informs the decision to establish a task team? Yesterday, you also spoke that we have a task team in Manguzi. I think I've also heard you speak about the rhino poaching task team and then that. So operationally and strategically, what is happening that these teams are established?
Thanks, Honorable Chair and members. The task team are established at various levels. It can be a station commander's task team, which might consist of 4 or 5 members to address a specific crime problem. Can be under the provincial commissioner. Can be a national task team established by either the structure called the National Crime Combating Forum or the National Joints by the Deputy National Commissioner Policing, or it can be directed from National Commissioner to be established. So it depends where the problem is. And normally the community and or the honorable members and or the executive minister or the president can identify like a specific problem, and we might say, well, we'll address that problem through ordinary policing, or let's establish a specific task team that will deal with the specific problem. So it gets established at various levels.
Okay, so we will establish it's in response to a specific problem, but obviously it's regarding criminality. And do you take into consideration the level of criminality for us to put in resources into that? So in the bigger scheme of things, let's say the rhino poaching opposed to GBV rates, like does that come into consideration, or is it pretty much a political decision, like as we have seen in the case of the Ramaphosa, President Ramaphosa went to KZN, attended a funeral, announced at the funeral, we're going to establish a political task team, used the ruling party's position in parliament and in government to say, okay, we're having leadership problems here in the ANC and we can't deal with the greed and the desire for power, whether it's councillors or whether it's their deployees to strategic positions. So we're going to use state resources to do that. So I was asking that question to try and determine, like, how do we prioritize criminality in this country and our response to it?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We prioritize crime, not to say in terms of if it's party political. No, we prioritize crime and we respond accordingly. Even the president, when he was there, he said he didn't establish it for purposes of specific party councillors. It was for political killings, and the task team indeed did sterling work with regard to what they did in KwaZulu-Natal. They arrested for killings of IFP councillors. There's been IFP councillors in Zululand that were killed. There's been DA councillors. You remember there's a DA councillor killed at municipality around Howick. Forgot the name of the municipality there. There's been arrest in that regard. You remember the DA councillor in Beckville who banned his family there and accused other people. We made a breakthrough there. So it's not about a specific party. No, the task team was dealing with matters of whether it's within a party or is one party killing another party. The team did sterling work and arrested in everyone. We do have, in terms of GBV, Honorable Member, we have a unit. It's not a task team. It's a specific unit that is there. We call it family violence and child protection, that is dealing with the cases. And of course, remember, where there is such a case which we might not understand how it is high-profile case, GBV, we do establish those task teams to go and investigate and make a breakthrough. After breakthrough, then we dissolve the task team. It's not that we prioritize rhinos and politicians over other people. No, we prioritize crime.
Okay, General, the less we say about the FCS, the better. But the point was just that we just wanted to establish the political involvement of political parties, specifically the ruling party called the ANC. And I acknowledge that there are political parties that also, other political party members that are also investigated. But yesterday we were told that the majority of these political killings are ANC members and their deployees too, and I'm sure you will agree with that, but we can move on to that. I know you're trying to keep a neutral position, but we must just be honest that it is the ruling party that has brought us here with the Political Killings Task Force. And not that the task force is not doing a sterling work. I'm just talking about the fact that state resources are mobilized to deal with matters affecting political party in particular. Let's talk about your counterintelligence operations vacancies. So in paragraph 52 on page 25 of your statement, you said that there have been cases where investigations or reports, the question here is there cases where these investigations or reports can be deliberately or falsified to target certain individuals? Have you had a problem like that? And can this process of counterintelligence investigations and report be weaponized against certain people within the South African police force, but the country at large?
Thanks, Honorable Chair. No. The counterintelligence investigation cannot be weaponized. It's purely investigating those people that are involved. If you recall, this crime in Gauteng was, we don't say it's new, it shows it has been there. If I look at the cases now of this Ket Matlala, the 18 new cases I'm talking about, which are not part of those that I had caught, shows that this thing has been for quite some time there around. So, and we discovered it only after the killing of Amaswart in Vereeniging. So there is no weaponization. It's investigation that is based on what has been done, murder or attempted murder or illegal possession of firearm, and it is those people that get linked there. No weaponization of the Gauteng counterintelligence investigations that I am aware of. As there might be weaponization of maybe other structures against the team, yes, but this specific counterintelligence investigation is not targeting anybody falsely. So they do their work perfectly. So.
So there's no room for abuse and.
If through you, Honorable Chair, if you look at the record, the cases that they started in 2019 and in 2018, you have seen most of them, they have convictions of late recently. And if you look at those convictions, I mean, there is no judge or magistrate that can hand down those many lives and 40 years and 50 years if they did not get evidence. One thing I'm sure which, well, from our side, which we do give credit to, is General Kumar. He was never a detective, but actually he's the best detective now in the country, that I must say. And most people know that's how it is.
The instruction that you received from the minister on that letter when you were on leave, it says that you must also halt the recruitment, and you said that it was unprecedented and beyond the minister's lawful powers. What did you do about that? Because we've been dealing mainly about the political killings task team. That was one of 3 instructions on that letter. So the halting of filling those positions in crime intelligence, what was done about that? In crime intelligence, sorry.
Yeah, we, through your Honorable Chair, and thanks, Honorable Members. Yes, I did engage the current new acting minister, and I have subsequently advertised those posts. They are being in the process of being filled. Well, I didn't know why. Well, I did say why he said why he was stopping the filling of those posts, but I have since advertised those posts. But and even the rounds of promotions also have been advertised.
Okay, so you just continued with the process. It was done recently because that instruction was given in December. We're now in October. So you didn't halt the filling of those posts in crime intelligence. But I'm saying, what action was taken in the first place against the minister for even giving that instruction? Did you report him anywhere? Was there any, did you even report to the committee? Because you presented an annual report to us, and I don't remember that being highlighted, that you got an instruction to stop, and that would have been a platform where members of parliament could have engaged the minister to ask why he would give such an instruction.
Yeah, no, that I didn't report anyway. I engaged him personally, and he agreed to say, let's meet and discuss, and we eventually met. And he expressed what is his problem. And I was able to tell him what he sees as a problem is not a problem. And he agreed that, okay, you can now proceed. But of course, he said he still wants to go to the other committee, which that was the part that was outstanding.
On the media briefing, did you think General Mkhwanazi overreached when he went and he did the media briefing?
Well, it's difficult to say, but well, I think, well, he did what he did, so I don't see anything wrong with it. Because the provincial commissioner can do press briefing in his province, and he can. And he did tell me that he's going to talk about the political killings task team, give their successes. And when he went beyond that. So I don't have a problem with that.
Why did you choose to write an affidavit when he requested you to write an affidavit about the transfer of files, and you didn't act on it yourself? He gave under testimony that you submitted an affidavit, and on that affidavit, based on that affidavit, he opened cases about obstruction of justice, amongst other things, on the 121 dockets that were transferred.
Well, through your Honorable Chair, remember here it is after the fact. After we know that what was happening is a crime. And remember I said, after I had the dockets, that was agreed that if ever the team is closing, dockets must go to station. All of a sudden, these dockets are now here at head office. And I said, there can't be dockets here, they must go where they come from. And those processes were started to get those dockets back. But before that, after one became aware that, oh, this, what is being done is actually a crime, then you report a crime at a police station with an affidavit.
So why didn't you do it and left it to the KZN commissioner to do it?
I do what?
Why didn't you open the case as the commissioner, because it affected you directly? And you gave an affidavit to him to open the case, so he became the complainant. That's my understanding. Or am I not, I didn't get it correctly?
Well, the offense happened in KZN, and I gave him the affidavit. Giving the affidavit, you open a case through an affidavit.
And there was no other internal processes that you took outside of sending the affidavit to him to open the case in KZN against those who were involved in moving the files?
Actually, I think he's not, well, he's doing an inquiry that he's busy with. I can't here as a national commissioner investigate or investigate a case at head office. Case must be investigated somewhere from police station. So what I did was right.
You don't have to, so the question is just internally as the national commissioner, like there has to be some internal processes that you could have instigated outside of the criminality and actually open a case. Did you do any of that? Just internally, because there are processes, DCs, etc.
Yeah, internally, you should be aware that Lieutenant General Sibiya is suspended and there is disciplinary process that is undergoing.
Okay, and that formed part of it?
That's correct, yes.
National Commissioner, the media briefing, there seems to be a lot of movement after that media briefing in SAPS. And could it be that this media briefing is, we're not going to really get genuine systemic changes because now it's in the media, our country is all up in arms in it. So those who halt and obstruct investigations in this country are just, submarined. So we've seen movement. And then once the country moves on to something else, we are going to be back to square one and possibly even regress any further. So what systemic changes do we need in the whole justice system, and I guess in the police in particular, to ensure that we don't have, it's going to be the same script, different cast? We've dealt with these ones that have come up now, and we've left a void, and then another crop comes in and does the same thing.
Thanks, Honorable Chairperson and members. Well, we need, yes, an overall of the system of criminal justice. We need oversight to various institutions. Just to give an example, I think during General Mkhwana's testimony, I didn't watch it, the whole of it, either here or at the Madlanga Commission. Somewhere you saw that there was communication between Mr. Matlala, for example, and somebody from IPID, where the plan was they want to get General Khumalo arrested. But the other one was saying, hey, now there's no injuries, there's no JD8, so I can't arrest. So we just need leaders that respect their work, but we also, of course, need oversight that institutions that are meant to do specific work, they do that which they are meant to. They do not chase personal agendas or be weaponized to do nefarious activities and acts. That we need that oversight into institutions, and from the police side, we are prepared to undertake a lot of reforms where we see there are problems, but unfortunately the others we can't. But we need an overall of the system in terms of when it comes to watchdogs. For police watchdog, you have your IPID, you have police secretariat, and you have got all other bodies. So I think maybe as the legislature, you need to look at whether you should have all this many institutions. You have IDEC, you have DPCI. Should you have all these many bodies? Why should you have IDEC and DPCI more or less doing one and the same thing? And you have Police Secretariat, you have IPID. I know it's there in law, but couldn't you have one institution that is police oversight? In it, you can have a DG with a DDG IPID and a DDG Civilian Secretariat of Police, instead of having too many. And you end up having police, instead of busy fighting crime, they are writing reports to satisfy each and every of these institutions. So that, I think, we need to look at that and look at what these institutions, are they doing what they're supposed to do? Or are they weaponized to do other things? So that is the critical matter that is a problem. Institutions are tend and weaponized to do other things. Like we have now, the counterintelligence operations in Gauteng. There is a lot of institutions that want to get rid of it, or they want to get their nose in there, whereas the team is doing quite a good work and they are getting rid of cartels and criminals. So that's the support we need, and also from the executive and members of this honorable House.
So we as lawmakers, we need to, in summary, what you're saying is to ensure that we don't leave a void after we get rid of cartels and politicians that are involved in enabling all this. We need to look at the oversight bodies. We have too many, and perhaps just have one, and that will assist in trying to maintain a clean South African police service.
Yeah, I think if you do that, you will definitely have a better oversight, because now there are many. Some end up, somebody from you end up going to one and say, no, do for me 1, 2, 3. And they end up being busy with all those things. If you have one, you can concentrate on it and do oversight on us, and we do our work. We have got nothing to hide. Hence, I have now, as you heard yesterday, requested the SIU to do lifestyle audit of all members of SAPS, because sometimes some of you of the honorable members and other public people, they are used against us to say, yes, Masemla is corrupt, yes, he's doing that, just to push a narrative that is not really there. Some have been paid to do those things, which is not the truth. So, and public end up believing, no, Masemla is corrupt. I mean, where did I do? Whose money did I chow away? So, if we streamline the oversight on police, that will work quite best. Thanks.
National Commissioner, yesterday you said there's about 840 members that are, I'm now on the vetting and security clearance questions. So you've started the vetting process of about 840 members by an independent service provider, if I remember correctly.
That is correct, Honorable Chair. It is a lifestyle audit, not necessarily
What
vetting.
for the lifestyle audit?
Audit, yeah. Okay. Vetting will still be done by crime intelligence and SSA, but this one is a lifestyle audit.
So how did you identify a service provider? Is it a private company? What process did we use in identifying a service provider to do that? And you tell us who the service provider is that's doing the lifestyle audit? Or could we not use someone in the Auditor General? Or anyway, you tell us.
I did say, I say it again, the service provider is a special investigative unit. Mr. Advocate Mutivi's unit. They have got the capacity to do that. It's a state agency. I thought we can use them. They are independent from us, and they have done other institutions, I think provincial government, Gauteng, they use them. So I engaged the advocate somewhere in April, and there was some glitches along, but eventually we have finalized all those, and it's just final touches, and then you will start. But the identification of the 840 or so is the senior management of SAPS. That is from brigadier up to myself. They will start with that. When they finish, then we targeted environments like your central farm registry, supply chain management, division finance, and port of entry. So those will be the second layer as a priority. And from there, we can then see how far we go, because it's a time-consuming exercise.
So they haven't started yet. The process is about to start, is what I'm getting.
Through you, Honorable Chair, that is correct, Honorable Member.
And they have capacity, because, you know, National Commissioner, when we sit in the portfolio committee, we say, yeah, we're starting this wonderful project and we're all excited. And then 3 months later, when we get a report, it's like, no, we don't have capacity. There was no resources, as we see with the issue of security clearance, which we come into now. We determined that they're going to have capacity and more or less the time frame to conduct and complete these lifestyle audits of the 840 senior SAPS officials.
Yeah, those details, that's what is being finalized now,
Okay.
Honorable Chairperson.
Security clearance, do you have security clearance, National Commissioner?
I do have, Honorable Chair.
When was it? And it's every 5 years, if I'm correct.
That's correct.
So your last one was done when?
You don't know whether it's 2-3 years ago.
Why do you appoint people into positions, National Commissioner, when they haven't received the clearance certificates? Because we have a lot of those. And maybe in writing, Chair, we can get that. How many, from you saying from brigadier, right, up until the general, we require security clearance. Am I correct?
Honorable Chair, the 840 is senior management that I'm going to subject to lifestyle audit. It's a different process.
Yeah.
Yes, vetting, well, it depends on where you work, what you do. That's how we prioritize.
Okay.
But of course, most of the senior
But we
managers.
have about, right, of more or less how many people who are in those positions require vetting. Do you have it offhand, or you are obviously able to access that information and submit it to us?
The last year, I think the Division Crime Intelligence, they reached their target in terms of vetting. Actually, they overperformed, they overachieved. And hence, this current year, I gave them the target of 1,500, meaning I said, in that 1,500, make sure you finalize every one of the 840. Currently, some of the 840 senior managers, they do have security clearances, but there is a balance that is left, so they must finalize that. And normally when we appoint people, because it is not due to the people's own or negligence, Honorable Chair, that they don't have security clearance. The way the division was structured from those years, it was structured in such a way that it is impossible for them to vet the SAPS by making sure that their capacity are limited. You recall I said at some point there were about 7, the whole country. 7 vetting 186,000. So it tells you. So, but we are building that capacity in the crime intelligence, and they are increasing number, and the performance is also increasing.
And do we find
Honorable Matthias,
we're done? Okay.
may you please round up?
One more. Anna.
Yeah,
You said that during the investigations with CAT, you found that there were 80 other cases related to him. Did I understand that correctly?
That's correct, Honorable Chair.
And it's expanding over what period? More or less, these cases that have been dangling around the country.
I think it goes far back as 2007.
So, National Commissioner, does that not just tell you that how we have failed the country if we have someone has 80, right? Not 18 cases since 2007 up until now, and he's gone under the radar? That speaks to a failed South African police services.
I do agree, Honorable Chair, but we have discovered it ourselves. We are doing something about it.
Thank you. I'm done, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Matthies. We are cruising very, very nicely, honorable members. Your performance is very impressive, and I must give you this credit. Honorable Breitenbach, is it you or Honorable Cameron? It will be you. Once you are done, you hand over to Honorable Malema, and then we'll break for lunch. In that way, honorable members. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And good morning, General. We have already established that you're well, so let's not go there again. So, General, you're the top cop in South Africa.
Your microphone is far from you.
You're the top cop in South Africa. You're the only real general in the South African Police Service. And you say that you hold the view that the instruction of the minister to close the political killings task team was ultra vires and encroached on your domain as the National Commissioner. So why did you not tell him so? Tell him that you won't close it down, that it's doing good work and that he's out of line. Why didn't you just do that?
Thanks, Honorable Chair. But even though I tell him that this team is doing good work, we're not supposed to close it, he said we must close it.
No, General, I'm sorry, you're missing the gist of the question.
Oh, sorry.
The question is, not that you didn't discuss it with him, I'm sure you did. Thank you. Why didn't you tell him you're not interested? He's encroaching on your terrain, he's out of line, he can't do what he's doing, and he must concern himself with his own business and you concern yourself with yours.
Well, thanks, Honorable Chair. Like I said, I did my best to tell him, let's not close, and he insisted.
General, my difficulty is that he can't insist. So, I mean, let's just cut to the chase. He can't insist, he can't tell you what to do. You're the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service. There's no one above you and he's not above you.
He's a Minister of Police, he's above me.
Not in the hierarchy of the South African Police Service, General, and you and I both know that. You call the shots in the South African Police Service, not the minister. And if he tries, you should tell him to go to hell. Why didn't you?
Yeah, well, I didn't tell them that. And I take him as Minister of Police. And I told him in a nice way that let's not do this thing. And he kept insisting, no, we do it.
So when you told him in a nice way and he didn't go away, why didn't you tell him in a less nice way?
Yeah.
That's not an answer. General, you're the National Commissioner. You're the head honcho. You're the boss, not him. Why didn't you tell him that? Tell him to mind your own business and go do your own job.
Yes, I'm the National Commissioner, but I'm subject to his direction.
Do you consider him to be your boss?
Yes, I consider him Yes, to be.
To be your boss.
Supervised, yes.
The National Commissioner of the South African Police Service thinks the minister is his boss. Wow. So then you said, you discussed with him, he gave you no answers, real answers about why it should close down. Nothing was satisfactory. And then you said something odd. You said if it had been something about farm murders, the citizens of South Africa and parliamentarians would have reacted to the closing down. But because it wasn't, no one reacted. Now, why do you want citizens of South Africa and parliamentarians to do your job? It's your job to deal with that issue, not anybody else's. Did you come to Parliament and say, the minister is encroaching on your domain, he's exercising unacceptable political interference in the police service? Did you do that? And if not, why didn't you do it?
Thanks, Honorable Chair. We did appear at the committee. We briefed them how good the political Killing Stars team is doing its work. And there was any member of the team that would say, no, we think this the minister shouldn't do.
Again, General, I have difficulty with, you're a really nice guy. I mean, there's no question about that. But you're too nice. You're way too nice. You're the head of the South African police. Nobody can tell you what to do. You've got a lot of power. You don't seem to want to exercise it. And I don't understand that. Why didn't you come to the Portfolio Committee and say, this minister, tell them to call him to the Portfolio Committee and then sit there with him and say, this minister is interfering in the South African Police Service. He's telling me what to do. Why didn't you do that? How else would they have known?
Thanks, Honorable Chair. We learn. So in future, if I'm still there, that's what I will do. What do you say?
You say that no IMC has been created in the 7th administration. Why not?
Well, that we didn't know. Normally, IMCs get established when there is a specific problem. And I wouldn't know whether it was still going to be established or not for that specific matter of political killings. Maybe partially it might be because it was under control. The team was doing the work.
Let's have a look at that. So it was under control and they were doing good work. On page 15 of your affidavit, you say that 612 dockets have been allocated to the task team since June 2018 to date. So it's around about 7 years, is that correct?
That's correct, Honorable Chair.
Amongst other things, you say that 10 cases are pending a decision by the National Prosecuting Authority. So how long have they been with the National Prosecuting Authority? How long, generally speaking, do they take to make a decision? And how long have these 10 cases been with them?
For the political Killing Stars team, Honorable Chair, because they do have the prosecutors that are working with them, it doesn't take long. So that is as of that time, I think February 2025. So those cases have been finalized and they've been handled.
You say 57 cases have been withdrawn. What are the typical reasons for these withdrawals?
Withdrawals, there will be, of course, various reasons, as Honorable Chair, as the Honorable Member knows. He was in this field before, so I wouldn't be able to table exactly one by one reason for the withdrawals, but it will be either maybe some of these suspects might have, or the case have fallen. Normally, what happens here is witnesses do support the investigation. At some point, they turn around, especially your Section 204 witnesses. Some of them, they just somersault and turn around. We have one of the murder cases in Zululand where witnesses have done the same thing, which is quite I think it was the killing of a municipal manager. So I'm just giving an example, but that's some of the reasons that happens.
I would imagine that happens quite often in this kind of case.
You
And-
are.
And that must be one of the reasons why there's a political killings task team. So that proper care can be taken of the witnesses so that they don't become intimidated or killed, so that the case can run. Is that not what the task team does?
Yeah, no, the task team does. They do take care of the witnesses, but it just happens sometimes. Some witnesses run out of where they've been protected, and they end up being paid and they turn around.
And then you say 297 cases have been finalized. What does this mean?
Finalized means where they are, where there is either is acquittal or there is a conviction. Yeah, that's what it refers to.
So you'll agree with me, General, to understand whether the political killings task team has in fact been successful. We'd need to know how many of those 297 cases ended up in an acquittal and how many ended up in a conviction.
Yeah, no, there is such a breakdown. Maybe one can send such a breakdown in terms of how many. But yeah, most of them were quite. Let me just check if I won't find it here. Yeah, I think I'll look for it, Honorable Chair, and I will be able to give the honorable member. Thanks.
I won't hold you to it, General. Just give me a ballpark. 50% convictions, 60% convictions, 10%.
More or less 40%. But of late, as of this year, the conviction have increased quite a lot because most of your 2018-19 cases were finalized late last year and this year. So the performance is quite very good.
So, General, again, you're a very nice guy. Your subordinates seem to act with scant regard for you and your rank. They seem to disrespect you. Do you agree?
Well, they do respect me and we respect each other, Honorable Chair.
I said they disrespect you.
Yes,
They
sir.
do as they please.
Honorable Chair.
They do as they please, clearly. And why do you put up with it? If you didn't want to close the political killings task team, why didn't you reprimand Sibiya and tell him to concern himself with his own business and not act counter to your orders? How do you exercise authority over the people that report to you?
Thanks, Honorable Chair. Yes, I was exercising authority, but as I said, there was also this late that the Minister and General Sibiya were also pushing.
Who's the head of the South African Police Service?
Myself, Honorable Chair.
And so Sibiya doesn't listen to you. And your reaction is to say, just leave it, I'll do it myself. That's not exercising authority. Why don't you tell him to do the job you told him to do? He answers to you.
Well, that time, Honorable Chair, remember, I didn't know what was the objective of all this. I thought he can't really do what I expect him to do. Hence, I said, leave it. I'll do it myself and get other people to do it.
General Sibiya is a lieutenant general. It's not an insignificant rank. in the South African police. Surely he's capable of doing any job you tell him to do.
Correct, Honorable Chair, but he couldn't. So it was my understanding that time. It was that maybe he doesn't know how to do it. I didn't have a benefit of what we all know now. So
General, you can't
I thought-
cut out of it like that. I'm very sorry. You can't just say you didn't think that he couldn't, or you thought he couldn't do the job. How long have you known Sabia? He occupies the second highest rank in the South African police force. And when he doesn't do what you tell him to do, you assume it's because he can't? It looks to me like he wouldn't.
Well, that time I thought you can't, Honorable Chair.
And you say, we sit here today knowing what we know. And only after the 13th of May did we know that the plans to start the disbandment of the political killings task force started after the raid on Matlala and Molefe. And before that, you didn't know it.
That's correct, Honorable Chair.
But how could you not have known? What is the crime intelligence doing? Are you not briefed daily on intelligence issues? And if not, why not?
Yeah, you do get briefed, but this one we did not know, Honorable Chair.
You know, the rest of South Africa knew and has known for some time. You're probably the only person who didn't know. How is that possible?
Well, Honorable Chair, I indeed I didn't know, I must say, and we only know that day.
Also said that you were not so sure that it was an illegal order from the minister. If you weren't so sure, the South African Police Service has got a huge legal division with lots of well-paid people. Why didn't you ask one of them for an opinion?
Well, we did ask, and they were also. Some said yes, some said no.
That's not how legal opinion works, General, and you and I both know it. A legal opinion works like this. You give somebody a brief. And you ask them for them, not their opinion, not what they think, what the law says. That's a legal opinion. And they would have prepared one for you and told you what the law says. Not something this, something that. That's not a legal opinion. And you and I both know that. So please, will you answer the question?
Yeah, Honorable Chair, thanks. As I said, I did ask, and that's what I got.
Some said yes, some said no.
Yeah, and that time, of course, I said it's a fine line whether it should be. Is it some would say yes, is a policy direction. Some will say no, he have encroached. So I chose my way to say I think he encroached. So I don't know what is the feeling of this Honorable House.
Did you get a written legal opinion on whether the instruction from the minister was in fact ultra vires or not?
Oh no, Honorable Chair, I didn't get a written legal.
Why not?
I deemed sufficient what they were advising me verbally.
They weren't advising you. Some said yes, some said no. That's not advice. You didn't really feel strongly about this at all. You just go with the flow, wherever the wind blows you. Is that correct?
That is not correct, Honorable Chair. If I went with what he said, indeed, we wouldn't have the PKTD today.
Now, Section 207 of the Constitution mandates you to exercise control over and manage the police service in accordance with the national policing policy and the directions of the cabinet minister responsible for policing. Is that correct?
Correct, correct, Honorable Chair.
And in your view, what does this mean? What are the parameters of your authority as far as you're aware?
Well, my understanding, Honorable Chair, is yes, Minister will develop policy and I implement, and he will give directions. I think the matter around directions is what one might say it's not clear as to what exactly, how far do these directions go? Do these directions mean giving instruction to say, don't do this or do this? So, but my interpretation was that, let's say for argument's sake, what he said is a direction. I hold the view that probably he would have said, there is a problem with the PKTT. Check what is happening, whether it should still continue, yes or no. Then I will go and do that. So that's what I think would be a direction. But then, in this case, to go beyond to say close and close immediately, that's where I thought maybe it's an encroachment. But I think it's a matter that requires maybe some legal clarity.
So you've already said that you think the minister is your boss. If the minister's son, this is purely hypothetical, if the minister's son is arrested for something and he phones you up and says, let him go, will you do it?
What, his son do what?
Hypothetically, if the minister's son got arrested for a criminal offense and the minister phones you up and says, let him go, will you do it?
No, I won't do it. Through you, Chair.
I see. So General, the claims made by General Makhonazi, are they true?
Which claims?
The claims that he made in his press conference, everything he said, is it true?
Well, I do take them, yes, that it is true.
Well, if that's true, then the South African Police Service is in a huge mess. No? We should all be very worried. That's why we're sitting here today. Do you agree?
Honorable Chair, after the discovery of what we discovered on Matlala's phone, yes, I agree, there are problems.
Again, General.
And that those problems, we are addressing them.
If that's the first time that you became aware of problems, and that's when you started to be worried, General, then you've been living under a rock for the last 12 years. Because we all know that's not where the problem started. You know it, I know it, everybody sitting here knows it. And if you don't know it, then there's a big problem.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. I did say earlier, Honorable Chair, that the institutions of the justice system, yes, as you say, we know where it started. Yes, we know where the deterioration started, where the rot started. And we start implementing measures to improve. We know most departments were affected after 2009 and they were hollowed. That's a fact. And we are not all at our best capacity at this moment in time, but we are doing our best to clean up those areas that are affected.
Okay, would you tell me 3 things that you did? Because you've had a high rank for a long time. Will you tell me 3 things that you did to clean up crime intelligence?
Well, I removed some of the senior managers there. I appointed a new capable divisional commissioner. And, well, some of the things we're still doing, we're not finished. And in that space of crime intelligence, yeah, one might have limitations in talking, but we rectified some messes that were happening there in terms of informers' claims. Senior managers abusing some resource vehicles, we attended to that. So, yes.
Did you fire all of the family members of Richard Mdluli who he appointed?
We fired some, not only him, but we have fired some.
Did you fire all of them?
No, not all of them.
Why?
Some have been legitimately appointed. So General Kumalo was still busy dealing with those matters. But there are those that we found not legitimately, not only Zuli, but other families, and we find them.
What kind of a relationship do you have with Becky Cele?
My relationship with Brigitte Cele is a minister of police. He was minister of police, and we only meet at work. We don't, after hours, meet to drink coffee or whatever. He lives his life, I live my life. We only meet when you are at work. We are not friends. We're working colleagues, but after hours, he has his life, I have my life.
You've seen him since he's no longer the Minister of Police.
I saw him once. I bumped against him somewhere. But other than that, I don't talk to him. I don't phone him. He doesn't phone me. But I enjoyed working with him. Well, he have his shortfalls, problems, but enjoyed working with him.
You said yesterday that you didn't know Kat Matlala or Brown Mokotsi. And when you say that, do you say you didn't know them or you didn't know of them?
I didn't know them, and I didn't know of them until General Mkonazi spoke to me about a Brown Mokotsi. Because he asked me whether I know this person. I say, I don't know. He says, no, this person was with you at Lisukisiki when 18 people were murdered there. I says, well, if he was there, I don't know this guy. Even Matlala, I don't know him, I haven't heard of him.
Doesn't it concern you a little, General, because it concerns me more than a little, that the head of the South African Police Service says he doesn't know people that it's common knowledge are intricately involved in the underworld and amongst the most well-known gangsters in South Africa, and you don't know it?
Well, I must be honest, I didn't know of that. But now I know.
You say that you did not know who Babita Deokaran was, and that now we should all take pride in the fact that the theft and corruption at Tembisa Hospital has been stopped and has implicated Kat Matlala.
I said I didn't know her before. I know her after there's a name of Babita Deokaran that she was killed. Yes, I know about her.
Are you aware of the fact that the actual shooters are serving prison sentences after pleading guilty? We all know how that little scenario works and will play out. The actual kingpins have never been caught. The persons who organized it and paid for it are still at large. And it doesn't appear as if anything is being done to apprehend them. How can this be something that you're proud of?
Well, I now know who are the masters of that, and we are busy with them. You'd recall that the case of those that were convicted was investigated by the Hawks, and now we are investigating a case of the masterminds. It's done by the GC Ops Gauteng. So we know them. We are dealing with that matter.
Have you ordered an audit of the Crime Intelligence Covert Fund? And if so, what were the results?
The results, after many years, where they were not getting, they were not getting a good audit. I think the last financial year, for the first time, they got an unqualified audit report, and it's quite a big improvement from where they come from.
You also said that since January 2025, you have been aware of a syndicate that has significant influence and connections within the political, law enforcement, and criminal justice systems. What does this mean?
What I mean by that is that this cartel is not only infiltrating SAPS. What we mean is that it does have influence to some of the people in the NPA, and it also does have influence to some of the people in the judiciary. That's what it means. And I took it from the report given by the members of the GC Ops.
Why haven't these people been arrested?
We are in the process. That's why we have Gauteng counterintelligence operations. They are dealing with that. You will see the results as time goes on.
Now, you know, it's nearly the end of October already. When?
To investigate organized crime, you know very well. It's not like you take a person. You can arrest a person now, yes, put him there, but if you don't really have the evidence to prove, then you have a problem. That's why we take so long. And of course, the arrest of Khumalo have also brought complications in the whole investigation, but the team is still there. They are going forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, General.
Thanks, Honorable Chair.